What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from BackTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today I'm here to talk about Drop It Like It's Hot. No, it's just Drop. It's just a film. So click like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell. Join me on my cult following here. You know, some YouTube critics, they say they go into things blind, but they really don't. I do all the time in every film. I can't help it. It's not something I can turn on or off. So let me invade you with my fresh perspective and drop the knowledge on you. uh, anyway, this is a Blumhouse movie. It's directed by Christopher Landon. It stars Meghann Fahy. Spoilers to some extent. I won't tell you the ending of the film, but I don't know what you've seen in the trailer, and this is a film. I have to get to a certain point in order to make this review work. I can be like, it was fine. Here's the grade, and then just walk away. But I'd like to actually talk about the movie. So, she plays a mom. She's got a nice, adorable little boy, and she has a sister, and she hasn't been on a date in a while. Meghann Fahy. There's a flashback at the beginning which doesn't resolve. It'll keep flashing back so that you can learn like the whole story as the movie progresses. And she has this date with this guy Henry, who has been oh so patient because he hasn't. It's been months, and they've just been talking for months. It just seems like such a great guy. I love that the bar is so low that like any guy that's willing to just talk for a few months is, you know, who doesn't rush a widow out, you know, who isn't like, a widow with a kid, if I can't get her into bed within the first couple texts of speech on Tinder, it's over. I guess Henry's a good guy. He's also a cameraman, like a photo journalist, and he brings his camera with him to the date, which they have at a high-rise restaurant in town. I don't know what town they live in, but somewhere. You know, I mean, as soon as she sits down at the table, she starts getting these off-brand airdrops. I don't know what brand. Maybe this is what Android users get. They're not airdrops. Apple did not want to be involved in this movie. Although I think Henry mentions it. He's like, no, I'm more of an airdrop person. So she's getting some like other kind of drop. And they're all of these, it starts off as just like these memes that just keep annoying her. And I was just sort of like, why did she turn the phone? Oh, because of her kid. You know, like the whole thing is predicated on the fact that she has like this security system so she can literally like look in on her kid inside her house. And there are also cameras all over this restaurant. It becomes a bit of a problem because everybody can be surveilled at all times, which means everybody's watching her. And the person who's giving her the drops is also within a 50-foot radius because that's how drops work. So they tell her, you know, you have to do what I'm telling you to do because we have a man at your house who will kill your sister and your child if you don't. She checks the camera footage, validates that, and now she's freaked out. So she can't tell him any more about the drops because Henry has been in on this whole, like, who the hell is giving you the drop thing. So we've looked around the room and seen all of the various possibilities there's like a waiter and a bartender. There's a hostess, there's a piano player, there's a group of teenagers, there's another couple that's on a first date. There's some guy who just keeps saying he's there waiting for his sister who hasn't shown up yet. So like there's a bunch of people. There's an old couple. And like it could be any of them. Who knows? Could be somebody we haven't seen yet. We don't know. But they have to be within a 50-foot radius. And we learn more and more things, like as she tries to do things, like her phone has been cloned. Obviously, the guy who's watching is watching her on the cameras. So anywhere she goes, so even when she tries to step out of the 50-foot radius, uh, still cameras inside the restaurant. So she's in a tough bind, and the task at hand is uh, she's gonna have to kill Henry before the end of the night. Apparently, he knows something. He knows a secret, and he can't leave this restaurant. So she's been tasked with that, and so she has to figure out either who's giving her the drops and stop them, and get them to call off the killer in the house, or she has to kill Henry by the end of the night. It's very depressing. Blumhouse. So yeah, I mean, there are a lot of things they take advantage of with Drop. It is a high-rise restaurant, so Drop can also mean that, which they do use that. She's given drops as the poison to kill him, so there's that. So there's like multiple ways where Christopher Landon works Drop into the whole thing, and to make it work. Anyway, so what do I like about this? Meghann Fahy, I think she's good. She's been doing a lot of strong work. I really love her in Sirens on Netflix. I thought she just killed that. I love that show. I'm obsessed with it. I wish it was more than just a limited series. But she also has The Unbreakable Boy, and so I'm thinking that between Drop and Sirens, that she has erased the debt owed to society from being in The Unbreakable Boy. God, that movie's terrible. Anyway, she's not even good in it. Like, I can't even say that. I can't even defend to be like, well, at least she wasn't even good in it. So here she has, like, this is a big showcase for her, and she does a nice job with it. Henry just kind of sits there the whole time and sort of reacts. Camera mostly just follows her, so I didn't really care who Henry was. Henry could have been anybody. Literally just rotate through any actor. And they could have just kept changing actors. I don't even think anybody would have noticed. And like, oh, it's a new actor. It kind of looks like Henry. Maybe it's the same guy. I don't know. Uh, so so the couple problems that I have with the film, again, I did say kind of spoilers. I won't tell you who it is or how it ends. I was really annoyed by the waiter. He was a bit much. And I would have been mind-blowing. It would have been, if he was the person doing this, I would take it all back and I'd be like, this is A+, Best Picture, Oscar winner of 2025. It would have been the greatest misdirect of the century, of millennia, would have been if this waiter had turned out to be, so they give... so that they want everybody to seem somewhat suspicious. So he's like a waiter, first shift, first table. But he's also like a second city actor. So I think this is Chicago, probably. That makes sense. So he's a second city actor trying to trying to get his stuff together. He talks about this dumbass thing with like Allison Janney and a hat, and how the hat is on top of Allison Janney's head. And I was just like, what is happening? What is happening with this character? He's so oddly obnoxious. It's so weird. I think there's a picture of this guy next to extra in the dictionary now. I think they're revising the dictionary. Yeah, he was in a different movie. I don't know. There was... Christopher Landon was worried that we needed a comic relief in this film, and they were like, well, what if it was this guy? I don't know. Is Ken Jeong not available? Like, he seems to just pop up in things, and he's just random comic relief. That would have been better. I didn't really care for... okay, so the person who's watching at home, it was so obvious. Was so obvious. Oh my God, if I knew Christopher Landon, like as a person, like if we went all the way back, I'd have been like, bruh, bruh, your writing is awful. Like, Oh, it's the clumsiest way to introduce somebody who's obviously the person. Oh my god. Anyway, so if you don't get it, probably just, I don't know, stop watching movies. I if you can't figure out who the person is at home, um man, before the mask is pulled off, I was like, come on, man, we know, stop playing. I know who this is. Um, and the other thing is crediting, and this is not really Landon's fault, or even, well, maybe Blumhouse's, but whoever decided to credit the film, fuck you. So the credits in this movie are problematic. I would have done Meghann, Fahy, whoever's playing Henry, and then the rest of the cast in alphabetical order, because you know it's not Henry. You know Henry is not dropping her the names of the like of like, you know, who to kill or whatever. So it can't be. It wouldn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. So, I mean, that would have been also a really weird twist. I would have loved to see how that movie plays out. Like, actually, I mean, like, you see him through the whole movie. Like, he would have to be on his phone the whole time. So she's sitting across from him at the table. I mean, he could be, I guess, a mastermind with somebody else at another table asking her to kill him. But what a weird movie. So, no, it's not Henry either. Uh, so yeah, you could have done that and then put drop and then put the rest of the cast in alphabetical order. That would have been the smart thing to do. Instead, they're worried about crediting and they're worried about making sure that certain people get billed high, get like top billing. And that's problematic because there really are two leads. And then I guess 3 and 4, if you wanted to get super creative with it, really should be the sister and the kid. And then everyone else in the restaurant should have been grouped into a category of, if we put somebody's name above the other, we're revealing our hands. And they really reveal the hands with how they list the cast, sadly, unfortunately. So I think a lot of people are gonna, when they come back around to it, it's gonna be like a full circle moment of being like, God, really? Um, so yeah, I didn't like that. But other than that, I think the movie's strong. I think it's a strong movie. Definitely for Blumhouse. Blumhouse doesn't usually make strong movies. The audio description was really good. I think probably even as blind people, we have a better shot at being surprised by this movie because when you're sighted, you are constantly aware of everything that's happening in the background of shots. And so if people are giving sort of like a lot of just sort of atmospheric content, like looks in the background, things that you're not necessarily supposed to pay attention to, but are supposed to, like, if you, people who deep dive and they go back through and they analyze movies and like, oh, did you see in the background that that person did that thing and they moved that over there? Oh my God, I didn't even see that on the first watch. It's in the background. You know, we don't usually get that because we're focused on the main action, the foreground action. So uh, any fleeting looks that the person may or may not have had are not pronounced heavily throughout. It does play the room like it should, as if like, well, it could be any of these people, anyone, even though some of them have names. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. It just means that those are people who have introduced themselves and the other people haven't, so they're described by what they are. So actually, I think the audio description here is pretty great for that purpose. I wouldn't classify this as a horror movie though. I guess this is a thriller. There's It's not a horror movie. It's not scary. I mean, it's scary if you're just like if there's like some concept here about heights that you're scared of, or kids and danger. I don't know. There could be some things here that are like scary elements to you, but it's not intended to be it. It's not like a slasher movie. Um, no one gets like decapitated or anything like that in the movie. So yeah, it's just a thriller. It's pretty tight. It's a little over an hour and a half. And it's for a limited location movie that goes home, restaurant, home, does pretty well. However, I did think she lived a little close to the restaurant for that third act of the film where she's trying to rush home. It feels like she's very unencumbered by, especially for living in Chicago. Seems like she gets home pretty quickly. Mr. Landon, I don't know if you've ever been to the city in which you're shooting your movie, but traffic, streets, stop signs, stoplights, one-way streets. You can know your street, you can know your city really well and still be thwarted by bullshit in and around things. So I feel like she was never thwarted by bullshit. There isn't that like hilarious moment. Well, it's not hilarious, but they always do that thing where like there's for some reason there's a delivery at that time and there's this truck that's like backing up into the street and the person's like honking their horn and like, God, why? Move! And you're like, what? Is there a delivery of this out? I don't know. But there is. In every movie. No, she didn't even get that random delivery truck that's like in the middle of the road for no apparent reason whatsoever. So, yeah, drop. I'm gonna drop my grade of B. I'm gonna give it a B. It's a pretty good thriller. I liked it. It feels a little like Black Bag, how I felt with that movie where I was like, yeah, it's close to being great. It's good. It's just not great. You know, it's just not. It's like a couple tweaks, you know. But considering a lot of the other films we're gonna get this year or have gotten this year, it's better. Anyway, that's it. Check out Drop. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the other side.